day, Tamers. Welcome back to some more fun with me, Agita Swiftly, with another Ultimate Cup modified deck list for you guys out there in the real world, hoping to play some Digimon with a less than optimal deck, or still playing a fairly optimal deck. I'm going to bring to you today OTK Red WarGreymon X. Now, truth be told, there's one dual color card in here, and it still counts because it's still red, but it's very annoying for those people that don't want to play this card. You don't have to play this card. There are other options out there. It's just the best card in its slot, and you can already see it on the screen right now. If we carry on with this, you guys will see why it's so good. Also, though, before we go into this, if you are new to the channel, could you please subscribe, as it does help us get to that 1,000 goal that YouTube begs us to get to, and like if you do enjoy the content, because who doesn't like WarGreymon stuff? It's in everything, right? If it's black, red, yellow, yeah, it's all good. So, we're going to start off with the babies. We've got Koromon from BT9. If you really wanted to, you could play the draw versions. That's down to you totally. A lot of people do prefer to use the DP engine, just because the extra 1,000 DP does come up occasionally, especially now where you do need to hit over 14 to 15k in security just to survive. You're going to play the BT5 Agumon Surge because it's a fantastically good card, and no one can deny this, that card is just super powerful. You're going to run 4 of the Agumon X antibodies. You are only either getting a draw on this card, or you're getting a draw and a surge in this card, because it also has the on-play and digivolve effect of on-play. When digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Greymon or Omnimon in its traits, and 1 X antibody option card amongst them to your hand. Now, obviously, you can't play Omnimon in this deck because there's no red Omnimons, but you can get yourself a search for a Greymon, which, depending on how you want to do this deck, is fairly good. Going into the other Agumon, which is probably the best Agumon that you want in the stack, is the Promo Agumon with the 2000 DP if your name contains Greymon in it. That being said, you want to punch things hard. I'm going to run 2 of the Agunis only because, at the end of the day, you don't tap your Tamer for it to be really effective, and you'll see why later. So having the hybrid for game actually comes blue in this deck. We're then going to show you the Greymons here. The first of our Greymon line, which is this beautiful Greymon here from BT5, which is if this Digimon has Agumon in its Digivolution card to gain a memory when Digivolving. To be fair, you do have to keep an eye out in this meta for memory stoppers. So this isn't always that great. You do gain 2000 DP with this card, which does make it more effective. But at the same time, you can see there's a different Greymon that you kind of want in the stack first and foremost. Greymon X Antibody with the all turns inherited effect that if an effect would delete this Digimon with Grey or Omnimon in its name, or return it to the hand or deck, you can prevent it from leaving play, but it's got 2 cards with the same level in this card's Digivolution cards. We're running a lot of duels here, so there's always a chance that you don't just instantly go bye-bye. Then we run the original ST1 Greymon. Why? It slaps, baby. Security attack +1. This is an OTK deck. This deck can somewhat easily punch for 5 in one turn. Now, is it effective? Not always. Is it the best? Sometimes it is. But either or, this is a fantastic card for the stack. Then we're going to go into Metal Greymon. Now, the issue we have here is this is currently the best Metal Greymon in slot for now. Now, we do get access to the one in BT12, which is better for this deck, but not necessarily better for Metal Greymon slot in general. But it's fairly effective right now. It does cost a lot to Digivolve into, so you may want to have some way of gaining memory already on the field to make it so you don't just instantly fall over. When Digivolving, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Now, if they have a memory blocker on the field, pretty good, right? Just pop it, lock it, shake it away. We do then run 3 of these. Oh, and the reason why we run this is because if you really wanted to, you can swing into your opponent's Digimon. Because you've got Dragonkin in your Greymon traits, and you punch something really hard, and then you win, right? Not quite. So, Metal Greymon X Antibody here. When Digivolving, this Digimon gains Security Attack +1. Then if it's got Metal Greymon in its evolution sources, when it Digivolves, this Digimon gains 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. You can be a very chunky WarGreymon X, let's just say that. I'm going to play one of the Alterus modes, because this name is also considered a Metal Greymon. So when you go over the black-red Metal Greymon, Digivolve into this, you can still stay at Metal Greymon in name. So for 0, you go up, you get a draw, and you can go up into a Metal X Antibody, and then again, do your stuff. If you have a Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DPLS. That can be a blocker. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of blockers in this meta, to be fair. I think a lot of people are just going to look for aggro because of how weird the modified rules are for most people. We're going to then play the WarGreymon from BT1, which is the when Digivolving, this Digimon may gain Security Attack +1. Then your turn, this Digimon doesn't activate security skills or option cards, it checks. You don't have to go into WarGreymon X, this card is already very good. That being said though, if you're playing against a deck that you're not worried about things destroying you, because essentially if you know you're playing into a green or a blue deck, you can stop things from putting you back into the deck or to hand, so you have to worry about that with your sources. But at the same time, it's nice to know that you have the option here. If you do have the memory to spend, you can also then Digivolve into WarGreymon X, and then all turns when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, gain a memory. You're hitting for 5, you gain 5 memory. And then end of attack, once per turn, if WarGreymon or X antibodies in this Digimon's distribution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. There's a good chance you're like 18k, 19k in this stack. You're deleting most things on the field that can be deleted. You run 2 of the WarGreymons from EX1 for Blitz. Now this is literally for Blitz, and this is essentially going to be more of a case of you want to swing with Metal Greymon into something's Digimon, and it doesn't be able to do anything anymore. And then also, when this Digimon attacks a player, if you have a Tamer in play, delete your opponent's Digimon with blocker. There's not many blockers currently in the game, but there are a few of those that do have blocker on your opponent's turn. So when you swing with this, you get to pop possibly a black base Black WarGreymon X, the promo Black WarGreymon, so there's a chance of destroying Machinedramon. I don't think there's many decks currently around running blockers. This size may be Grandis if they want to sort of save themselves a turn, but at the same time, bye-bye Kabuterimon. Now we're going to go into the option cards. I'm going to have 4 red memory boosts because the deck is very self-sufficient at searching for its own things, but being able to just have the extra memory available to go into some of these cards, because having to go for 4, having to go into 4, having to go into 3 and then 1 can be expensive, and if you're only getting the memory setter out and your opponent's not giving you more memory than 3, your plays are going to be slowed down slightly. You're also going to play 2 Gaia Forces. To be fair, this is a very weird deck to play around because there's not really anything else you want to put in this slot. If you really, really want to, you could put in ADP as a preventative measure for the Blitz WarGreymon or for WarGreymon X Antibody. With the BT1 WarGreymon already in this deck, you don't have to worry too much about security. If you know you're playing into yellow or purple, you can just swing with this 5 times and hope for the best. You don't activate any security option cards. And you're probably punching at like 16k, so you have to worry about hitting into a Digimon that's going to punch you in the face. We're going to run 4 Tai Kamiya. Now, you don't have to run the ties. I just personally prefer the ties because you get the security attack +1, and with this deck you can easily hit 5 security checks and then hybrid for game. You could also run heroes if you're worried about DP gain, but most of our sources here give us DP. It's not the worst thing in the world. And if you're wondering how we do the old 5 hits, so you go through here, you get +1, +2, +3, plus its own swing. Tie itself makes 5. Swing with these if you've got 2 memory left at the end of the turn. Or if you Digivolved into WarGreymon X for 1, maybe you're at 0 now, swing, hit 5 cards, gain 5 memory, and then, or for every security move, just gain 1. And then tie is just obviously there, sitting there and going like, oh, what do I do now? And then, you know, you've got your Agunimon in hand, throw it down the tie, and swing for game. And that's kind of it for this. It's very simple, it's very easy to do. The only reason you're playing Gaia Force is because you don't necessarily need to run anything else. But also, if your opponent smashes instantly, have no way of stopping the Explodey Force, that is Gaia Force, they don't get to do anything. But that is it, guys. We'll see you guys for another Digimon episode soon. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed our red WarGreymon, the Destructive Force that can OTK very easily. So we'll see you guys soon. Peace out and goodbye. Peace.